If you're like a lot of people, you've dedicated time to come up with a strategy for your company. And I'm pretty sure that you're looking at how can you serve the current customers that you have while also bringing new business in the door. Balancing these two is a really smart strategy because it shows that you're thinking long-term while also looking at how you can keep your current customers happy, because I know that you value those relationships, but you're also focusing on how you can continue to grow your business. But we know how life is, and our best laid plans don't always turn out the way that you thought they would. Maybe you lose a key customer, or somebody on your team moves on to another position. You reorganize, or you know what? There's always things with the economy that we absolutely cannot predict. When this happens, our temptation is to throw long-term plans out the window, but you really don't have to be that drastic. Hi everyone, I'm Carla Johnson, and welcome to this episode of Take 10, where I'll be talking about the triple threat. How you can look at your short, medium, and long-term plans in a way that doesn't make you sacrifice one for another. I'm excited to partner with the RSVP team for Take 10, where we take 10 minutes to cover one tool that helps you be more successful in your business. In strategy planning, we have three types of goals: your short-term goals, medium, and long-term. Let's break them down and look at each one of them and see what happens when you're surprised by something unexpected that hits your business. Short-term goals are those that take about 1 to 3 months to reach. This is where we naturally focus when we're in the midst of a crisis. What do we do for the next 30 days that can really make a difference? Instead of throwing the strategy that you've worked so hard to create just out the window, here's what you can focus on that will make a difference right now. The first is looking at how you maintain the relationships with your current customers. If you've never created a solid outreach plan, now's the time to get started. It can be through email, it can be through direct mail. Maybe you even pick up the phone and call some of your customers and have a good heart-to-heart conversation with them. What you want to learn is what matters in their world and what are they focusing on. Now, this is really important because sometimes our urge can be to call them up and end with a strong sales pitch. But the more that you get to know them and work on that relationship through outreach, the more often that you'll find little golden nuggets of opportunities that you have to help your customers that a lot of times you never even realized were there. The second thing you can do is to be helpful any way you can. What questions do they have that you can answer? Sometimes this stumps people, but here's a trick. Ask your salespeople for a list of questions that they get all the time for why somebody doesn't buy. Now, I can tell you this is a wonderful opportunity to create great content, because one of the things that salespeople will tell you over and over again is, if I just could have gotten to my customer a little earlier, I could have helped him in the decision-making process, and I know everything would have gone smoother. Take a look at this blog that Marcus Sheridan created for one of his companies called River Pools and Spas. Now, Marcus actually created this blog when his business took a huge hit in 2009, along with the rest of the housing market. He decided to spend some time answering as many of the questions that his customers had that he could think of. He wanted to make sure that if anyone had a question about buying a pool or a spa, that they would turn to him for help. This worked so well that Marcus said it had a huge impact on how fast his business responded from the economic downturn, and also how strong he is today. Being helpful, though, isn't just for small companies. Zappos recently launched a program called Customer Service for Anything. They offer up their fantastic customer service team to anyone, not just customers, and they help them however they can. This is anything from movie recommendations to restaurant delivery times to vacation planning. One person said they called just because they were bored and wanted somebody to talk to. Maybe you could create a training course for your customers, or is there a workbook that you could publish that could help people with something that's a really sticky part of the process? Think about anything that you could do that starts helping your customers get through anything that they might have as a challenge. Now, what is it that you can start to do in the next 3 months? From there, we move on to midterm goals. Midterm goals are things that you can do in the next 3 to 9 months. This is when you have time to put your money where your mouth is. Really pay attention to your most critical products or services and make sure that they are everything that you promised them to be. When people have a long buying process or they're looking at a high price tag kind of purchase, what they do is that they really investigate and they think about, how can I make sure that what I'm spending my money on and how I'm spending it is really the best use? How do I make sure I'm really getting the value of what it is that I'm buying? Because nobody wants to feel like they didn't get their money's worth, and they don't want to be the person in their organization to realize that they didn't spend the company's money wisely. Make sure that not only what you sell is high quality, but also what is the process that people go through to actually buy your product or service. Now, what kind of things do people get hung up on? We as consumers, we often look at something from the outside that brands don't see internally. So that's what's important for you to do also. Look at the buying process from the outside in. What are the things, the sticking points that you can fix that you don't realize are hurting the relationship that you have with your buyers? Once you've made sure that your house is in order, consider new ways to deliver what you sell. La Di Da is a gift shop in suburban Chicago. The owner, Jill Carlisle, takes a lot of pride in the time she spends with the people who walk into her store. She knows they're looking for ideas for personalized gifts. But when business slowed down, Jill figured out that just the hump of getting people to physically walk into the store was something she could work her way around. So she created an online form that asks many of the questions that she would ask if somebody came in and she worked with them in person. This is the way that she can get the answers to the kind of questions when she can't talk to somebody in person or over the phone, that helps her create that personalized gift-giving experience that matters to her buyers. What it also helped her understand is that there was a lot of people who didn't even realize her store was there, but now she's been able to expand and get more attention from a broader audience than she realized that she could have had. Another thing that you can think about is, how can you partner with another business? No brand is an island by themselves. Whether we realize it or not, we are part of a bigger relationship that our customers have with many companies. And what you sell fulfills just one or maybe even a couple of needs that your customers have. Ask yourself this question: what is it that people buy before they buy your product and service? And now, is there an opportunity that you can create a business partnership that helps people find you when maybe they wouldn't have otherwise? And last, we have long-term goals. These are the goals that are about 1 to 3 years out. A disruption in your company, in your industry, or even the economy doesn't mean that you have to make immediate changes to your long-term plans. I've watched companies make adjustments in the 3 to 6 month range that actually made them better prepared to hit their long-term goals. One thing that you can take a look at is, how solid are your internal processes and systems that you have behind the scenes? George Contos is the CEO of Marshmallow Streaming. He found a bottleneck in his business as he managed the relationships that he had with customers across several different software platforms. Once he decided to fix the situation, it freed his people up to work on things that were more valuable to the business and to better serve their customers. With your long-term goals, it's important to keep a careful eye on the changes that you make with your short and your midterm strategies, and look at the impact that they'll have over the long run. It's important to remain flexible, but not reactionary. With all of the planning and adjustments that you make, it's important not to make short-term decisions out of panic. What you want to do is make sure you're not derailing your long-term plans. Learn to think of your decisions in the short and the midterm really more as course corrections that balance the progress that you're making towards your long-term goal. What you want to make sure is that your immediate needs are still working towards your long-term plans. If you'd like help thinking through your short, medium, and long-term goals, talk to your local RSVP representative. They are a fabulous thinking partner when it comes to understanding new, fresh ideas for how you can stay in touch with your customers today while also building toward your long-term plans. I'm Carla Johnson, and I'll see you next time on Take 10.